All right, so now we have finished with our heel turn, and you'll look at it and you'll see how we have that nice little flat area. That's going to be on the bottom of your heel. Also, at this time, this will be a good time to move your instep stitches onto one needle. Those are those extra stitches we had hanging out on those 2 extra double pointed needles. Those 2 11 stitches. Now there's 22 stitches on one needle. It just makes it easier as you're working along. So first thing we're going to do to start the gusset is we're going to go ahead and knit across those heel stitches. For the smallest size, I have 14 of them, but depending on what size you're making, you may have more. So we're going to knit all the way to the end. And then once we get to the end, you should see along your heel flap, you should see 11 slip stitches. So we're going to go ahead and pick up and knit those 11 slip stitches across the side. You're going to poke them through those that slip stitch, wrap around and pull it through. And you're going to do that for those 11 stitches. Poke it through, wrap it around, pull it through. All the way down. And once you get to the last one, there's going to be a gap between, you'll see kind of a large gap between the last slip stitch and the next stitch you're going to work. And we kind of want to take care of that, otherwise you're going to have holes in your socks. So what I usually do is I just go ahead and look for a good place to pick up 2 extra stitches. You're just going to poke your needle through an area that looks like it could use an extra stitch. And then we're going to go ahead and work across those instep stitches. So this is actually going to be the top of your foot, in case you're wondering how this all is constructed. And you'll have 22 across there. You'll pretty much leave these. These will pretty much stay at 22 stitches until you get to the end, to the toe. All right, so we have reached the last couple stitches, so, all right. And it's the same thing over here. You'll see between those slip stitches and the last stitch you worked, you will see that there is a gap there. And you want to make sure that there's no gap there because you don't want holes in your socks, because those aren't fun. So just go ahead and pick up a couple of stitches, extra stitches where you feel like it should be. So that's how I'm picking mine up. And then go ahead and you're gonna pick up and knit the slip stitches on the other side of the heel. And there should be 11 there as well. All the way up. And then once you get to the top, you want to divide your heel stitches so they're even between your two heel stitch needles, kind of like we had on the instep. So I'm going to get to the top. And then we're going to just, might be a little fussy, but you're going to go ahead and work across half of those heels, original heel stitches. So in this case, there were 7 for us. You will have your heel stitches on 2 needles, and your instep, or the top of your foot, is going to be on 1 needle. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just continue and knit across those, the heel stitches you had already picked up. We want to start the row on the other side. So now we've worked across those the heel stitches and the instep stitches, and now that we finished the instep stitches, this is going to be the new start of our row, which is the first heel stitch needle. So to decrease the gusset, because we want to get back down to what the amount we started with when we started the sock. So you're going to knit 1, and then we're going to do an SSK. So slip as to knit, slip, and then knit the 2 together. And then we're going to continue all the way to the other end, to the last 3 stitches of the heel. So I'm going to go work all of these heel stitches. Okay, so now we are at the last 3 stitches. So we're just going to knit those 2 together, or knit the next 2 together, and then knit 1. And that's our decrease row. The next row is going to be just a plain stocking knit row, which is knit all stitches. And then we're going to repeat that decrease row again. We're going to repeat those 2 rows until you have the original number you cast on with. In this case, it would be 44. So this will stay 22 stitches, and then these will be decreased down to 11 stitches each. We'll go ahead and work on the foot. You're going to just work in plain stocking knit once you finish all of those decreases until your foot length is 2 to 2.5 inches less than your foot length, your total foot length. So you just want to take a measure of your foot, and then if it's 7 inches, you're just going to knit for 5 inches. And then we'll meet back here and start decreasing for the toes.